You might be driving illegally in Australia. If you're using the wrong driving license, you could get fined with thousands of dollars or even be forced to stop driving during your working holiday visa in Australia. I'm Arnin. I've been traveling Australia for more than 4 years and I've worked in agriculture, hospitality, construction and mining. And in this video, I'll explain you which driving licenses are valid for travelers in Australia, when you need to convert your license, and the different types of Australian licenses that you might come across. So let's play the video.
Hey friends, welcome back. Today we are talking about driving licenses in Australia and why they are essential for backpackers and temporary workers. So let's get into it. So why do we need a driving license? First and most importantly, we need a driving license to drive legally in Australia. Without a valid driving license, you cannot operate a vehicle, which is crucial for both personal use and professional use. Second, having a driving license significantly increases your job opportunities. Employers value this highly because it means you can drive a vehicle and provide more value, especially in industries like agriculture, construction, and mining. And third, it also can potentially serve as an Australian official ID, which we will discuss later. But little spoiler, this one is really important. So what are our options to get a valid driving license in Australia? For all of these following options, we are assuming that you have a driving license in your home country. And if you don't, then the only option is to do the driving test here in Australia. But if you do currently have a driving license back home, these are the three options. The first one is an international driving license. The second one is your original driving license with an official NATI translation. And then the third one is to get an Australian driving license. Now let's dive into each option. An international driving license is obtained in your own home country before you come to Australia. It is fairly cheap, around $30, but obviously this can change depending on your home country. This license is valid for about 1 year, so if you're planning on staying in Australia for longer than a year, you might want to consider the other options. But at the same time, it is the most flexible option as it is recognized internationally. So if you're planning to travel to other countries like New Zealand or in Southeast Asia during your stay, this might be a great option for you. The second option is the original license with a NATI translation. And NATI stands for National Accreditation Authority for Translators and Interpreters. It is the official organization in Australia for legal document translation. So if your driving license is not in English, you need a NATI translation for it to be official. The process is simple. You send a scan of your original license to a NATI translator and they will send back the official translation in a few days. We will link trusted NATI translators in the description below. So in this option, you must carry both your original license and the NATI translation when driving in Australia, because if you get stopped by the police, presenting both documents will be enough to get you through. It is a bit more expensive than the previous option, costing around $35 to $50, but the difference is that these options last you as long as your original driving license is not expired. And this option will only work in Australia as NATI is an official Australian translation organization, but this might not mean much outside the country. Could also be accepted in New Zealand, but we are not 100% sure of this. And then a last fun fact is that your demerit points might not accumulate in the Australian system when you are using your original driving license along with a NATI translation, keeping you somehow outside the system. This means that if you get demerit points, they might not accumulate in the system the same way as they would with an Australian license. I will make a future video about this, explaining a personal experience a little bit in the future. And the last one is getting an Australian driving license. For this last option, you need to transfer your original driving license to an Australian one. It's a process to get a physical Australian license, and this doesn't mean that you lose your original one. You simply get an extra one. This process is also state dependent, but any Australian license is recognized nationwide. So here, the important thing is the fact that you get an Australian driving license, not which state you get it from. And to get it, you have to visit the Department of Transportation at your state with all the required documents. The process is very quick if you have everything that is required, and it is done in one single visit. It's more expensive, costing between $100 and $200, plus the translation costs if your license is not in English because you need a NATI translation. The license lasts between 1 to 5 years depending on how much you pay. 1 year is around $100 and 5 years is $200. So you have to choose depending on your situation and your budget. We personally recommend getting the 5 years license if you plan to stay for a second or a third working holiday visa. It pays off in the second year already, saving you time and money in the long run. Then, having an Australian driving license opens many job opportunities, and this is because some employers prefer it for insurance reasons, as you might not be covered if you are using an overseas license while you drive a vehicle at your job. And this is like a secret ticket after the classics RSA and white card that everyone should get if possible. Not many backpackers have it, and it really makes you stand out from the crowd. And to get jobs at this moment, you really need to make yourself different from the rest. And this little thing, having or not having an Australian driving license, might be the difference from getting a job or not. From my personal experience, I got jobs just because I had an Australian driving license compared to many backpackers that didn't have penny. Also, another amazing thing that it offers is that it also serves as an Australian ID, so you don't need to carry your passport everywhere. And this is amazing because you can put your passport in a safe place at the bottom of your backpack or somewhere and just use the driving license as an ID for your daily life. Because if you damage or lose your passport, it is going to cost you hundreds or thousands of dollars to get a new one, as you will have to go to a main city, go to the embassy from your own country, pay hundreds of dollars to get it renewed, and then wait weeks or months. So this will cost you a lot of money and also a lot of time. So you might need to quit your job wherever you are in a regional area and go to the big city. A big disaster. And the Australian driving license might avoid you all this for only $100, so it is a no-brainer. And you can also get flights inside Australia using the driving license instead of using your passport. So it is a really powerful tool to have. So which option is the best? The international driving license is great for short stays and travel flexibility. The native translation is a good step towards the Australian license, especially if you're staying longer. But the best option is, hands down, the Australian driving license. It offers you so much. It is like an extra ticket, giving you more job opportunities, and it can also be used as an official ID, so it gives you peace of mind. It is more expensive, but it is 100% worth it. So that's it for today, guys. If you liked this video, go and comment below which of the 3 options you are currently using.
Now you understand how driving licenses work in Australia and how to make sure that you're 100% legal and safe. But having the right driving license is just the beginning, because then the next thing that you need to do is to find a proper job to fund your travel in Australia. So watch this video next where I explain the top certificates that open the door to high-paying jobs in Australia during your working holiday visa.